So working with young and old people who want to change how India is operating, how India is growing in today's world is something that I'm really passionate about. And I was surprised when Ramya told me that there were so many people waiting in the room. They are excited to join. They are responding on the group. So really, really thank you from the bottom of my heart for actually being there for something that is not just for yourself. So thank you very much. Now, like Ramya said, we want you to have an open mind about this program because this is a very, very experimental program for Bhumi. I have done this with other organizations and we've had great success. It is not because what we did or what organizations like Bhumi did, but it is because what individuals like you did with the program and how you all approached it. So before taking too much of your time, I'm going to share my screen. Rami, I think so the participant sharing has been disabled again. If you don't mind, can you activate that? I want to share my screen.
Okay, I'll just activate that. Just give me a moment. No, it's all participants can share.
No, it says you cannot share screen while other participants. You're sharing something.
Oh, okay, yes, you can.
Okay. All right. Okay, here we are. Can one of you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? There you go. Great. So this program is called the Ambassador Program, and that's why we call you guys ambassadors of change. It is something that many organizations have done in some way or the other, but they have not defined it as a process. What I mean by that is that either some things have been done, but it has not been done in a very organized way where everybody has 10 times the success or 15 times the success that usually they've had, right? So this program is well designed and we want you to be interactive during this call, ask questions, make objections. Hey, no, I think so this is a better way to do this or do that. Or what about this? Ask questions as many times as you can, participate. Because I'm going to ask questions to you guys as well. And that's the whole program, right? Let me just go to the next screen. Now, obviously we are an NGO, so we are dealing with problems, right? We are dealing with many problems. There are 5 main problems that we want you to be aware of. Number 1 is education and literacy. Like Ramya said, yes, we deal with the literacy and education issues in India. And all of us know this, right? That dropout rates is sky high right now. Now, from a higher level view, we may not think that there's a lot of dropouts in school. Like, for example, in the schools that you are studying in and the school that I studied in, not a lot of dropouts because most of us are pretty well to do. We have Zoom we have a laptop, we have a smartphone, we have well to do families, not so bad. But think about the government school system. Right, why I'm sharing this with you is because I've worked with a lot of migrant laborers who have come from all parts of India to Bangalore and Chennai. And what we have seen is that around the time that the child goes around 5th or 6th standard, right, it becomes very difficult for the children to continue to stay in school. Anybody here could tell me why? Anybody? You can unmute and just start speaking. Okay, going once. Okay, somebody is in the chat. All right, but if you don't know, let me tell you why. Right, because at least I remember very well that in my 5th and 6th standard, homework started becoming difficult, and it used to be very difficult for me to actually clear or do things without help in the house. Now, my mom was educated, so when I went to her and asked her for doubts, or when I went to my tuition teacher and asked her for doubts, she'd be able to help me out with that. But what about children who don't have a support system at home? What about children whose parents cannot afford to send them to tuitions or cannot afford to send them to a school? Or what about schools where there are not good enough teachers, right? What happens to those children? Over a period of time, these people will keep falling behind. They'll not have good grades, and then eventually they'll give up, or their parents themselves will say, you're anyways not doing good. You can go with your older brother and sell pani puri, for example. I'm actually speaking from a real case that we have been dealing with, where the child who was in 7th grade was sent to sell pani puri with the brother because he was not doing so well in school, and they didn't seem to have any hope that he will change. Right? This is one of the biggest reasons why children are dropping out, and there is no quality education accessible to the poor people. Right? The maximum they can think of is government school. Now imagine a government school child who's learning language, learning everything in a regional language. What kind of opportunities they'll have in a city like Bangalore or Delhi or Chennai, in an IT company? What kind of corporate company would hire somebody who can only speak Malayalam, for example, or Tamil, or Kannada, right? It's very difficult for these children to actually be rehabilitated or streamlined into society as how we see things. Very, very difficult. So it's very important to understand that when it says 74% literacy rate, that's not really true. I want you to understand that literacy rate also, how it is calculated in India. It's calculated based on anybody in India who can read one line and count numbers in a regional language. Like, for example, if I'm from Bangalore, I should be able to read in Kannada and I should be able to count in Kannada till 10. That is considered literate, which is shocking, by the way, right? Because I cannot get a job based on that. I cannot run a family based on that, and I cannot expect to send my children to a good school and provide for them, through the salary that I'll be getting, right? So this is the one of the biggest problems that we are dealing with, and that is education. I will talk more about it when about Bhumi's programs eventually with you guys, but I wanted to let this set in. The other problem that we are dealing with is obviously hunger and malnutrition. I'm sure if you've been following news, there was a huge, bawal that they created saying that, oh, we do not accept the global hunger index. How can India be called 107th out of 121 nations? We cannot accept this. But even before that, we were not at the first or the second level. We were around 100 or we were around 98. So even if we don't accept the current 2022 index, it was still really pretty bad. There are so many children that are malnourished in India. There's so many people who do not have enough food to eat. Why I'm saying enough food to eat? Now, for example, are there people like millions of people not eating food every day? No, that's not the case. It's not like Africa where kuch khane ke liye hi nahi hai. There's nothing to eat at all. What the problem is that they are taking one meal and they're splitting it into 3 meals or 2 meals. They're not eating 2 times stomach full. They're eating one meal into 2 times. Or they're eating just rice and tomato curry. Like, for example, in the migrant community that I work in, especially for a malnutrition program, almost all the children are malnourished or stunted. They are not they're not growing for their full potential. Their 7th standard kid will look like a 3rd or 4th standard kid, thin, skinny, not too tall and not tall enough for his age or her age. Now, why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because providing food that is nutritious 2 or 3 times a day is the basic necessity that a family has for their children or for themselves even, right? Undernutrition has been considered as one of the biggest reasons why TB is so prevalent in our country, because the treatment is free, but the treatment doesn't work. If I have TB, even if I'm taking the free treatment that the government is providing, because I'm not eating well enough, the treatment won't work at all. And obviously in our country, gutka is very popular. So they eat gutka, they spit it, and then that keeps spreading all over the country. And that's the reason TB is still not eradicated from our country, right? If you notice that all of these things are connected, education is connected to hunger and poverty, poverty is connected, and it's a whole cycle, right? And we are here to break that cycle, ideally speaking, right? What is the next thing? The next thing is menstrual hygiene, right? Ooh, very difficult topic to talk about, right? Everybody starts to say, oh, this is a taboo topic. We should not talk about this. But we all have sisters. I have 2 daughters, by the way, right? We have sisters, we have mothers, we have aunts, and we believe that they should have hygiene, that they should have access to medication, that they should have access to safety, that they should have the right to live comfortably, right? Imagine if you had to go through as men, and I am considering this for men because women don't consider this as taboo, men consider this as taboo, at least in my experience, right? So as men, usually we say, हाँ बेटा इसके बारे में नहीं बात करते सबके सामने, और we tell our wives, like, ये छुपा के रखो इसको, ये कहाँ सामने सबके सामने लेके आ रहे हो? Why are you bringing this in front of everybody? Hide it and keep it inside, right? But the idea here is that because it is taboo, they can't even come forward and say that I'm having a problem. I need to go to the doctor, or I need these products so that I can, do things in a safe way and I can take care of my own health, right? Imagine you have a cough constantly from the time you're 13, 10 years old till the end of your life. And we tell you, we'll not give you Vicks, we'll not give you Dolo 650, we'll not give you cough syrup. You have to live with this cough throughout your life, and and you should not talk about it. You should not come close to us and even cough in front of us. It's like that, right? It's very unfair to tell women to not talk about these things. And what we do as an organization, as Bhumi, is that we're first of all creating awareness, and also we are enabling women and girls, especially in schools, because we work with a lot of schools, to understand what this is actually, to consider that this is not taboo. This is not something dirty. This is not something bad. This is how God has created it. It's a beautiful thing, right? Most of us were born because this exists. Right? If this didn't exist, we would not be here. Right? So we're trying to understand, and we're trying to help others understand it. And also, I'm guessing, Ramya, we also deal with products, right? We provide the products and the supplies for this, because many of our countries, women and girls, don't have access to these products. They're still using, like, rack cloths that, in the 60s and 50s women used to use. While all of these products so cheaply available everywhere. Imagine this. There was one case that I had dealt with a few years ago, where we provided a whole month, a whole quarter's, worth of sanitary napkins to this family. There were 3 girls and a mother. And then 3 months later, when we went back and we told them, how did it go? Do you want more supplies, or can we, actually 6 months later we had to go. We asked them, okay, have you been able to use it? Have you been able to do the work? And they said, no, you know what, it's too much of a headache, this, that, and all. And also another thing is that we don't know whether this is actually valuable or not. They don't even realize sometimes that it's actually taking care of their health. At the same time, they had to choose, do I buy rice, or this is during the pandemic, do I buy rice or ration, or do I buy sanitary napkins? For that 130 rupees that I'm going to spend on sanitary napkins, I can buy 4 or 5 kilo rice. What do I do? What do I do during the pandemic is what their question was. And unfortunately, some of these projects took a backseat during the pandemic, because everybody was saying COVID, COVID, bed, oxygen, oxygen. And many of these projects took a backseat. In fact, our education department itself has accepted that all the children across India have gone behind in their education level, because during the pandemic, education took a backseat. Right? Now, the other thing that we deal with is obviously animal welfare. We provide food for dogs, we provide food for stray animals, and we're trying to take care of certain things that, and this is a new program, it's not a very old program, as you might know, that this is something that we are also playing with. We are not, we are not experts on it, so we need your help. Number one, if you have suggestions, if you have ideas on how this can be done in a better way, if we are not doing it the right way, we would want you to jump in and say, Simon, Ramya, this is what I think we should do, and be involved in that area as well, right? Then obviously we come to the environment part, which we are very passionate about, and that's basically about planting trees, right? It deals with climate change, pollution, soil erosion, and a lot of different things. Bangalore, 10, 15 years ago, when I shifted to Bangalore from Mumbai, 10, 15 years ago, Bangalore seemed like a hill station. It used to be cold at around 11 o'clock in the morning. In June, July, and all that, it'll be cold in the mornings at 11 o'clock. In hot sun, it'll be cold. Now I'm sitting in a room at 7 o'clock in the evening and I'm sweating over here, right? That's what is happening to our environment, because there's in Bangalore every now and then. I know about Bangalore because I've lived here for 15 years. Every now and then, for any reason or the other, people will be cutting trees. Ghar banana hai, cut trees. Road banana hai, cut trees. Nothing to do, cut trees. We'll use the wood for something, or we'll do this, or we'll do that. So people are cutting trees, but there's nobody planting trees, and there is so much empty land. There's so many areas where we can actually be a part of the solution and do the right thing. Now, why am I sharing about these problems? You must be wondering, okay, we are ready to volunteer. We volunteered last time also. We were part of this program also. I'm ready to do animal welfare. I'm ready to do, education program, whatever it is. But no matter how much you do that, right, which is great, we love that you're participative, and Bhumi is not Bhumi without its volunteers, literally speaking, right? I mean, if you put aside half of its employees, Bhumi will still survive. But if you put away their volunteers, I don't think so Bhumi will even exist without the volunteers. So Bhumi works and does everything based on the strength of its volunteers. And that's why we love you guys and we really, really appreciate what you do. But what we want to do here is we want to change the way we look at volunteering. Now, you must have volunteered not just with us, you must have volunteered with others as well. And what has happened in a regular volunteering program? You come, the organization tells you this is what you need to do, that is what you need to do. And you go to the location, you do that, and then you go back home. That is repeated maybe for a day, 10 days, 30 days, 50 days, and then it stops there, right? Now, in this kind of volunteering, the impact that you created stops when you leave that place. Number one, right? Number two is because obviously, say for example, you're taking tuitions for a kid for 50 days, you took tuitions, and then you left that location because now you're no longer a volunteer. What's going to happen after 50 days? The child does not have a tuition teacher anymore. So the impact has stopped there. Yes, for those 50 days, great. Then let me give you another example, right? Imagine you are feeding dogs, right? You're feeding dogs and cats, stray animals on the street. We're taking care of them. For 30 days, every day in the morning, with the Bhumi team, you're delivering biscuit packets, milk, whatever we are doing at that point of time. And then after 30 days, you stop. What happens with this kind of volunteering is that while it is great to be there in person and to do the things by hand, it stops when you stop doing the work. It stops when you stop volunteering, right? We need all kinds of volunteering. We need this kind of volunteering, and we need something that is different as well. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Now, the kind of volunteering that we are talking about is being an ambassador. And what is an ambassador? Can anybody here, I would really like if somebody, I feel very lonely right now with all the 56 people in the group. Anybody here could share what they understand to the word ambassador as. What do you think an ambassador is? Anybody? Okay, I'm going to pick names now. All right.
Excuse me?
Yes, who's this?
Yes, actually, my name is Matilda. I'm from Chennai. So talking about the term ambassador, and
Yes.
we are connecting, or we are bridging the gap between the people who are in need and also whoever it is, our clients, our children, whoever it is, we are connecting the need and the people who are in need. Okay,
Absolutely.
we are connecting like a person as a messenger, somebody who is taking everything and getting it to the ultimate people who are in the ground level.
Absolutely. You basically are connecting to somebody who has a need and somebody who can fulfill that need. Absolutely. Yes. Right. What else? Anybody else would like to top that up? Ashish, I see you unmuted. Would you like to share?
मेरा नाम आशीष सिंह है।
हाँ, बोलिए। आपको क्या लगता है एम्बेसडर का मतलब क्या है?
जी, भूमि एम्बेसडर जो है कि वॉलंटियर प्रोग्राम जो है कि चेंज जो मतलब हमारे समाज में जो भी मतलब पिछड़े वंचित शोषित हैं बच्चे हैं उनको शिक्षा से जोड़ना और गरीबी उन्मूलन को दूर करना। मतलब हम भी मैं NYKS नेहरू युवा केंद्र वॉलंटियर हूँ और एनएसएस में भी मैं वॉलंटियर था। राष्ट्रीय सेवा योजना जी। मैं 2 साल मतलब ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में काम किया हूँ और सर काफी मतलब मैं मेरा वर्क एक्सपीरियंस ये है कि मैं जो कि NYKS जो स्पोर्ट अथॉरिटी से काम जुड़ा हुआ है और यूथ डेवलपमेंट के लिए काफी प्रोग्राम को ऑर्गेनाइज करना एंड
नहीं वो तो हम समझ गए। हम एक दूसरे को बहुत बारीकी से जानेंगे आगे से।
जी।
लेकिन हम ये हमारा ये प्रश्न था, the question that we had is that what do you guys think is an ambassador? Ambassador करते क्या है? जैसे कि हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, the Indian ambassador is in US talking about Indian issues or talking about Indian development. Indian ambassador करता क्या है US में? जब हम लोग हमारे ambassador भेजते हैं, वो करते क्या है?
इंडियन एम्बेसडर एक बहुत बड़ा मार्गदर्शक के रूप। जी
just let Ashish finish quickly. हाँ, जल्दी से बताइए सर।
जी, बहुत बड़ा मार्गदर्शक के रूप में हमारे सामने वो एम्बेसडर खड़ा होते हैं, जिससे सापेक्षिक रूप में हम उनके पीछे पीछे चल के और पूरे हर चीज को
सही बात बोला आपने, अभी आपने सही बात बोला। Yes, Manish, then Abhay, you can go after that.
Okay. Hello, Saman.
Yes,
hello, Mr. Saman.
Hello.
My name is Manish, and especially in the terms in the term of NGO ambassador, the mission is promoting organizations' mission, values, initiative, and fostering somewhat in some extent fostering partnership, advocating for all types of causes what the organization giving to us, and raising awareness about the social issues. And so in a other state, they have to engage with like, if you are giving me any project, if you are working in a school project, then I have to talk to stakeholders and mobilizing supports and works to achieving the organization's mission.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Manish. Abhay, Abhay, you'd like to top that?
Yeah, I would like to add on that. The term ambassador is like a person to derive the force from one person to like another person. It's like enabling something apart from doing something. It's a way of like driving force of someone, some thought or some work or something like that. Like as example, here in my current role, like a children from the school is the brand ambassador of the WAS activities, and he's driving the WAS activities at his house as a brand ambassador.
Absolutely.
So that's the part, like we are enabling, we are doing at our place, and we are also enabling to the other person, so they are going to like derive that force in the apart from that journey.
Got it. Thank you so much, Abhay. And thank you everyone on the chat as well. Sangeeta, Sumit, Kaushal, Sobhni, Sachin, thank you very much. The word represent is something. Raj Lakshmi, did you want to share something? You switched on your camera all of a sudden. That's why I'm checking with you. If you had to share something, please feel free to share.
No, I'm very sorry for joining in late.
No worries at all.
I had certain personal preoccupations.
No problem at all.
Ambassador is somebody who represents the cause of the organization, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's my understanding of the being an ambassador.
That's great. Great. So if you notice that across the room, the word represent is flying around, right? Everybody said in some way or some form that it is to represent, like the Indian ambassador represents the whole country when he goes to Japan. He's not, when the PM goes to, for example, the Prime Minister goes to Japan, he's not representing the whole of India. He's representing just his government, because he'll come and he'll go. But the Indian ambassador, the position, like nobody will mess with an Indian embassy, right? Where the ambassadors are staying or where the ambassadors are, they represent the whole nation. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because this program is about you becoming ambassadors. Now, the difference here would be is that, what does it mean for me? Like, for example, if I'm going to be an ambassador, what does it mean? I'm going to represent Bhumi. I'm going to talk about Bhumi's thing. I'm going to say, oh, this is what Bhumi is doing. Bhumi started 15, 20 years ago. Bhumi is this. Ramya works there. Simon is the consultant. Doc is doing this. Oh, this. None of that is going to happen in your program. Why? Because nobody really is interested as to what one random NGO is doing, right? Like, So thousands of people out there, out of the thousands of people, only 63 of you are here. So now people are not really interested. Like, for example, all your friends are not interested about what Bhumi is doing or what NGOs are doing. That's boring information for them. All right. Ambassador is, I mean, as an ambassador, you'll be ambassadors for a cause of your own. What I mean by that is I showed you about those 5 issues, right? Education, hunger and malnutrition, animal welfare, menstrual hygiene, and environment. You will go ahead and pick any one of these issues and you'll say that I am going to take a stand for this problem. And in my network, that is, say, for example, if you take your phone and in your phone, there are 600 contacts and in your neighborhood, there are about 200 people living, right? And you have some way to access them, not door to door. We're not expecting you to go door to door, but ideally in your network, people need to start seeing you as, okay, if I want to help, like, for example, if Raj Lakshmi is doing education program, if anybody wants to do something to help education program, they'll say, hey, you know what, you should connect with Raj Lakshmi, she's an education ambassador. That is the level of capacity we want to build you up in. Now, what is Bhumi trying to do here? Bhumi is saying that, hey, instead of you coming and volunteering for one of our projects, where we will tell you what to do and how to do, we are telling you to pick a project and our expert team will work with you and ensure that your personal campaign, personal goal to change India is successful, not Bhumi's goal. Which means that in your network, when you're talking to people, you don't have to say anything about Bhumi. Even if you don't introduce Bhumi, it's absolutely fine. Usually what happens in volunteering programs, NGOs will say, first you have to say about our, you know, what, that we are a great NGO, that humne ye kiya, humne wo kiya. That's what is being told. That's not what we are interested in. We don't care even if you don't get the credit of doing the good work. What we care about is the good work being done? Right? That's the question that we have for you. Now, in your own networks, there are hundreds of people. आपके network में, आपके मम्मी पापा के network में, आपके family network में, आपके offices में, आपके colleges में, आपके schools में. In all of these areas, there are people who want to do good, but they don't know किसके जरिए करें. Who should I trust? Who is a trustworthy person? Now, for example, if you tell them, hey, bhaiya, aap jao, wahan par MLA hai, go to the MLA's office. That person is doing good work. Will anybody go? No, they don't go, because politics is not the solution for, see, politics is the solution for the larger issues, right? And I'm not saying that they don't do, they do a lot. Why do NGOs exist? NGOs exist because जो politics नहीं संभाल सकता, जो government नहीं संभाल सकता, what the government cannot handle, what is falling through the cracks, that's what the NGOs are fixing. And that is the reason the governments have given us permission to exist in the first place. Ki NGOs, you all can do the work because we can't reach everywhere where you can reach. So as an ambassador, in the Bhumi realm, what you will do is you will pick any one of these issues, जो आपको पसंद है, which you like, which you want to fix, and you can decide what you want to do in that. Like, for example, if you want to educate 10 children this year, not for 10 days, not for 15 days, a year, right? Because usually हम लोग का schools एक साल का होता है, 11 months to 12 months का school का syllabus होता है हम लोग का. Right? Now, we can't say that I will educate a child for 3 months and then after that, dekha jayega. We can't do that, right? At least 1 saal ka support milna chahiye. Ek bachcha hi kyun na ho wo, right? So we are telling people, think big. If you could educate one child in your lifetime or in this year, it would feel great, number one, right? Because I remember there was one person who helped my own education and I can never forget that person. Not related to me, not a family friend, but somebody who enabled my education. Otherwise, like most of my friends in Mumbai slums, I would be probably peddling drugs, or I would be probably a drunkard, or I would probably be a berozgar, like they call them, because I grew up in the slums of Mumbai. If this person wouldn't have enabled my education, I would not be sitting here today talking to most of you. Because out of the 16, 17 people that I knew as friends, my age group, only 3 of them are alive today. True story. I have no reason to lie about this. Most of them have gone into the wrong groups, gangs, gotten killed that way. 4 or 5 of them are in life imprisonment because of the kind of work that they have done. Many of them are in and out of jail. Many of them have died of various diseases, and obviously COVID took it to the next level, right? But only 3 of them are alive today, and one of them is me, right? So enabling a child's education or enabling a girl from not dropping out from school because the bhaiya has to go to school. It may seem like a very simple thing through the volunteering program, through the ambassador program, but the effect that it will have on the children or the families or the people that you are doing this for is lifetime. So remember that when you're moving forward and when we move forward on this platform as well, right? Now, what is the challenge? Why can't we do this by ourselves? Right? These are some of the pictures just to show you all that we do plantations, we do, nutrition, we distribute food, we take care of animals that don't have anybody to, we sponsor education and so on and so forth. Now, what is the challenge? The challenge is trust. How many of you have been approached by random people on the street saying that, "Main is ashram se hu, I am from this ashram, please donate so much money to us, I'll give you ATG receipt." Anybody here who has been approached, or you've gotten a call saying that, sir, or WhatsApp message saying that, sir, ये बच्चा बहुत बीमार है, आपको पैसा देना पड़ेगा, please help कीजिए, थोड़ा दया कर दीजिए. Anybody who has been approached? Because I get calls like this every single day. Every single day, I get calls from random people saying that we are in a very bad situation, we have to help. How many of you have actually helped people on the street randomly? किसी ने यहाँ पर help किया है किसी को? Okay, Rajlakshmi, can you share? Yes, Rajlakshmi and Mohammed, yes. Could you share what was the reason you randomly believed somebody on the street जो दान मांग रहा है आपसे, donation मांग रहा है? Did you donate money?
It's the principle that I have. If like I have money and somebody asks for money, I generally prefer to give them the money because I know they need it. But other than that, they're like domestic.
You're talking about
help.
somebody, some individual in need, or some organization जो बोल रहा है कि मैं इस आश्रम से हूँ? Who did you help?
No, people on street.
No, not people on street. I'm not talking about people on street. I'm talking about NGOs. जो NGO का नाम से आते हैं और बोलते हैं, देखिए मैं इस आश्रम से हूँ, मैं इस चिल्ड्रंस होम से हूँ, ये बच्चे की फोटोज है, ये मेरा ATG रिसीट है, आपको मैं टैक्स एग्जम्पशन रिसीट दूंगा, आप प्लीज मुझे 500 रुपया दीजिए. आपने कभी ऐसे लोगों को हेल्प किया है?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, great. I would say that you are a rare breed. I'll tell you why, right? Majority of them, including myself, starting में तो मैं भी देता था, लेकिन मैंने देना बंद कर दिया. क्यों? क्योंकि there is no way we can say whether that organization is genuine or not. In fact, if you say, okay, let's go to your NGO, if you ever say that to a person who's asking for money on the street, half of them will say, "अरे नहीं, हमारे पास time नहीं," and they'll walk away. The reason is because in India, there is a lot of fraud that is there, and they use the name of the NGO sector to do their fraud. And there's no doubt about that everybody in India knows that. Now, somewhere around 2014, 2015, when the NGO laws were being renewed and all that, there were a few cases of NGOs that were publicized because they did some sort of fraud, that were publicized on national television. And everybody in the country got to know that this NGO or that NGO has done some sort of fraud. Now, I'll tell you what happened in the after effects, because I've worked with over 20,000 individuals since then, since 2015. And the after effect of that is everybody who was giving or who could potentially give became a cynical person. They started thinking that, सारे के सारे NGOs चोर है. All the NGOs are fraud. We don't know whether they are actually going to do the work or not. Right? क्या guarantee है कि ये लोग काम करेंगे नहीं करेंगे? So the bridge जो था between the organization and between society, that was broken. No trust. So here is the challenge, right? If you see on the screen, the challenge is most people misunderstand how NGOs struggle. If they see a nice office, if they see NGO employees in good clothes, they think that ये NGO के पास तो बहुत पैसा है. इनको हम क्यों दें? They have, like, NGO employees should come in torn clothes, then they will give. That's the mindset people have, right? You have to be struggling, wear a gamcha and have one khadi bag that look like a social worker that they think social workers look like. In fact, that khadi bag is more expensive than a regular bag, right? But that's what people are thinking. You have to look like one poor NGO, then we will help you. But that's not true, right? काम करने के लिए now, like how Ramya is working in this organization, she could have been working for an IT company and get paid 3 times her salary. Her challenge was, okay, to choose, do I do this or do I do that? And she chose this job, right? SAE, all NGO employees in many across NGOs, not just Bhumi, across NGOs, they have their own choices to make, and they made that choice, right? But people don't understand how NGOs work from the inside. From outside, they will stand and say, right, "Arey yaar, aisa karna chahiye tha, waisa karna chahiye tha. You should have done this, you should have done that." It's very easy to say that. Same thing we do with our government also. "Arey yaar, ye road or transport minister bakwas hai. He doesn't make good roads." But we need to also understand our perspective, right? For example, we say that our city is dirty, but we litter it ourselves many of the times, right? So we need to understand how NGOs work from the inside, that there are struggles and not everybody understands that. That's one thing that is established. The second thing that is established is, in the 80s, in the 70s, when you say I'm a social worker, I've interviewed a few of them in the past, retired uncles and aunties who have been in social work for many years. I interviewed them and I said that, how was it back then? Kaisa tha aapko social work karte? Kaisa laga aapko? Their answer was that when we say we are a social worker, people will pull the chair and say, please sit down. They'll bring cold drink and all, and they'll give full respect. But now, if you say you're a social worker, the first thing people have in their mind is, ki ye genuine hai ki nahi? Is this person a fraud or not? That is the first thing that people have in mind. So just because we are doing social work doesn't mean people will say, here is my money, do social work. They will only and only give if they find somebody trustworthy who is a part of it. And you can ask, you can randomly go tonight and ask anybody in your network, why would you give to an NGO? What are the things that you decide? Would you randomly give to some random person, or would you need a recommendation or somebody's guarantee that this organization is good, right? Everybody of them will say, I will think 10 times before giving to an NGO, and I'll only give if somebody who I trust will recommend it, or somebody that I trust is working there or is a part of that organization. So that is basically what the ambassador program is. It's a simple and easy way for people who trust you to create a massive impact through you. You're basically this person in between. There's a bridge that has been broken. You are fixing that block to build your bridge so that your family, your friends, your neighbors, your workplace colleagues, your college people, the faculty that you work with or study with, everybody have an opportunity to say, hey, Shreyas is doing this, or if Ashish is doing this, Ashish ko to main bahut saalon se janta hu, Rajlakshmi ko to main bahut saalon se janta hu. Yes, if she is doing this, I will support. Now imagine this, if your best friend, ye soch ke dekhiye, just for a second, right, for an experiment, if your best friend walks up to you and says, I am going to educate a child this year, what will you think? Will you think that your friend is going to cheat everybody? Obviously not. You will say that, hey, if you're doing this, I will support you. Tell me how I can help you. Because your best friend is doing this. Somebody that you care about is doing something good. And that's exactly what is going to happen when you say to people, hey, this year I'm going to educate 10 children, or this year I'm going to feed 10 children. And that's basically what you would do. Now, usually what happens is when you volunteer, your impact is limited to the number of days that you volunteer, because only you are putting your effort. But in this program, you will put your effort and your entire networks go into the impact. It's not just your work, it's not just your hard work or your intention, it's everybody in your network. The entire intention, entire good vibes is going towards that child. So your impact will not be for that. Yes, Ashish, you have a question.
जी सर, सर क्या हमें इस भूमि वॉलंटियर से जुड़ने का मौका मिलेगा क्या, जो हम जुड़ के
एब्सोल्युटली, ये अगर आपको ये प्रोग्राम करना है, ये प्रोग्राम एक मैक्सिमम 45 डेज का प्रोग्राम है, आप 15 दिन के लिए वॉलंटियर कर सकते हैं, 30 दिनों के लिए वॉलंटियर कर सकते हैं, 20 दिनों के लिए वॉलंटियर। एक फॉर्म आपके साथ शेयर किया जाएगा इस कॉल के सवेरे। we will share a form with you. Please register. And even if you don't have any idea how to do this, okay, I'll show you some proof points. Even if you have no idea how to do this, but you have a desire to make a difference, register. Even if you don't know how to start, kahan kya karna hai, there's an expert team that will help you. The program is designed in such a way that you are there as an ambassador. Like for example, मोदी का स्पीच कौन लिखता है? मोदी नहीं लिखते हैं, पीआर टीम है उसके लिए। करोड़ों में खर्चा होता है, क्या कपड़े पहनेंगे, क्या स्पीच देंगे, क्या पोस्टर डिजाइन होगा, वो सब कुछ, everything is designed by a team, and that team will be provided to you. Now Modi knows how to talk to people, and people who trust him, whoever, whether it is Modi, Rahul Gandhi, whoever it is, people who already trust Modi, who already trust Rahul Gandhi, they will listen to him. Now you are in that valuable position. Your network already knows you. Your network already trusts you. अगर आप जाके अपने दोस्तों को बोलेंगे कि मैं 10 बच्चों को पढ़ा रहा हूं, वो ये नहीं बोलेंगे आशीष तो हमारा पैसा लेके भाग जाएगा भाई। That's not what they're going to say. They're going to say, Ashish, अगर you're doing this, I'm going to support you. And they'll share, अरे मेरा दोस्त आशीष ये काम कर रहा है. They'll be even proud of that, right? In fact, parents will be extremely proud that my child. So, in reality, what we are doing is, आप लोग को इलेक्शन में खड़ा करा रहे हैं आपके नेटवर्क में, और आपके नेटवर्क में लोग आपको वोट करेंगे, आप अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं इसीलिए. And that's how this program has become successful. Let me show you some of the things that has happened. Now, last year and the year before that put together, we raised somewhere around 1.6 crores for one Chuntu NGO, very small NGO, छोटा सा एक NGO के लिए we raised 1.6 crores. It's wrong to say we raised because we did not raise anything. हमने कुछ नहीं किया. Normal citizens like you, college students, छोटे बच्चे, housewives, people who are working in companies, they are the ones who spend 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, and they shared in their network through this program कि हाँ भाई हम ये काम कर रहे हैं. And through that, this is the amount that has come. Now, I'm not interested in the amount. I'm interested in the schools that we were able to build. We built 18 schools in 18 months. It was a record-breaking high for us because 850 children that got enrolled in that school, they had no chance for education. उनका कोई guarantee नहीं था कि ये लोग school जा पाएंगे कि नहीं, because these schools were built in areas जहां पर government schools है ही नहीं, जहां पर government school जाने के लिए जगह ही नहीं है. Government school 4 किलोमीटर दूर है. 3-4 साल का बच्चा कैसे जाएगा आंगनवाड़ी में? तो हम लोग ने ऐसे जगहों पे schools बनवाए जहां पर school है ही नहीं. And 850 children got to go to school, and they're currently going to school, and they are now being transferred to higher standards. In the last 2 years, 3 years, we have been doing this, and they are doing well for themselves. Some of them are even joining English medium school, which we are very proud of, right? Because they have been able to somehow do they've been able to cope up with that kind of thing. Now, why do we say 10 minutes? 10 मिनट में क्या कर सकते हैं आप? 10 मिनट में frankly speaking कुछ नहीं हो सकता. 10 मिनट में आप किसी के साथ you can talk something, you can have a conversation with somebody in 10 minutes, right? All you have to do is this conversation. Like for example, I'll give you an example, right? Say for example, Raj Lakshmi is a friend of mine. I'm chatting with Raj Lakshmi and I'm saying, hey Raj Lakshmi, you know what? This year I've decided to educate 5 children. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, Raj Lakshmi, there are 5 children in Tamil Nadu or there are 5 children in Chhattisgarh who are very, very poor. I'm not painting one very sad picture. Wo guilt wala feeling we don't want. Right? I'm just saying, Simon has decided to educate 5 children. Ye mera campaign hai. Have a look at my campaign. What do you think? That's it. बस उतना ही करना है. सोशल मीडिया में हर हफ्ते 1-2 बार वो पोस्ट डाल देना है कि हम 5 बच्चों को पढ़ा रहे हैं. What will happen after this is, ये 10 मिनट, दिन का 10-15 मिनट आपको स्पेंड करना है. 10-15 minutes in a day, not more than that. What will happen through that is, everybody in your network will say, "Ye kya kar raha hai? What is this person doing now?" Now, Rajlakshmi, if she's known me all my life, I've never been in the social work field, or I've never taken care of children. मैं एक thera bachelor. What is this guy going to? Ye kya kar raha hai? What did he start an NGO? So she'll call me and say, "Simon, what is this you sent to me? When did you start an NGO?" That they'll start asking questions, and then you have the opportunity to say, "I am educating 5 children. ये मेरा campaign है. If you want, you help." That's it. आपको किसी के सामने जाके you don't have to say a sad story about children. You don't have to say anything that is difficult. You don't have to talk to strangers. Please remember that an ambassador does not need to talk to strangers. You have to talk to people that already know you very, very well. If you want to go one step ahead, maybe you can talk to people who don't know you very well also. Right? Maybe you're working in an office and there is one guy who you don't know very well. You can have a conversation with him, no problem. But at least he knows कि तुम उस office में काम कर रहे हो, right? So 10 minutes का ही काम है दिन का. You can go beyond that. We recommend that you do at least 10 minutes, because in 10 minutes you can have one conversation and you can answer those questions, and that's it, right? Over a period of 30 days, you'll end up having a conversation with 30 people. That's the idea, right? तो आपके नेटवर्क में अगर आपके पास 400-500 लोग हैं नेटवर्क में, आप उसमें से 30-40 लोग जो आपको लगे which you think are good people to have a conversation, ये मेरे फायदे के लोग हैं, अच्छे लोग हैं, मैं जानता हूँ, you know, they will listen to me, वो लिस्ट बनाइएगा, बस उन्हीं को कांटेक्ट कीजिएगा. Just call them or send them a WhatsApp message, right? Now, हम लोग क्या करेंगे आपके लिए? What will we do to support you? आपका जो लक्ष्य है, आपका जो गोल है, what is your goal? Your goal is to help children, or your goal is to help animals. Your goal, that goal to make it successful, we will give you a personalized campaign. यानी कि it won't say Bhumi is educating children or Bhumi is helping hunger. It will say Rajalakshmi is educating 5 children. It will say Ashish is educating 5 children. It will say Muhammad is feeding the poor. It won't say anything much about Bhumi. It will niche somewhere down, it will say Bhumi is doing this project and Ashish is doing it through Bhumi. But the whole project is yours. We are working for you. It's ulta right now. Clear? We will also give you support for individual ambassadors. Ashish, I'll get to you once I finish this. Just one moment, okay? So we will give you support for individual ambassadors. Yani ki if you met a dead end, you realize, I'm talking to people, but I'm not getting responses. What do I do? You don't have to worry. There will be a coach assigned to you. And these coaches are not some random coaches jinko kuch aata nahi. These coaches are the same. Like, for example, I'm a certified coach. I coach corporate people. Corporate managers and all is what I coach. And I charge about 8,000 rupees an hour for that coaching on how to solve problems, on how to become better at their jobs, right? I do that work also. Now, that same level of coaching will be provided, but maybe not for an hour, maybe a 10-minute conversation. A quick conversation, क्योंकि आप लोगों का problem भी छोटे-छोटे ही रहेंगे. ऐसा कोई बड़ा crisis नहीं है, right? So we will have individual support. This will not be like a call like this, where it will be difficult to ask questions. So we will reach out to you. You can reach out to us, and we will have that conversation and help you go to the next level. Content will be provided to you, which means that ऐसा नहीं कि आपको सिर्फ campaign share करना पड़ेगा. हमारे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्या-क्या काम चल रहा है, that content will be provided to you on a weekly basis. Every week you post, this happened, this is a story from this place, this is what has happened in that place, right? Even down to the WhatsApp message. WhatsApp में क्या भेजना है लोगों को? What do I send? I don't know how to create a pitch. We will create that pitch. You can customize it and send it to your friends. We don't want you to work hard. That's not the intention here. Like I said, right, this is not like the usual volunteering program. We want you to reach far and wide. That's what we want. We want you to represent to as many people as possible, and we will do all the work for you so that you will become successful in the goal that you have. Now, the poster is going to look something like this. That's why in the form that you will receive, there will be a section where you need to upload a photograph. Here it says what? Nikita, help Nikita educate 5 children for a year. Right? We have put real pictures only. They stock वाले pictures नहीं. ये हमारे ये organization में जहाँ काम करते हैं उसी का pictures है. ये आप verify कर सकते हैं. और जब हम भूमि का भी दिखाएंगे, real pictures ही रहेंगे उसके. लेकिन निकिता का भी photo है यहाँ पर. Now, why is this important? This is important, and women, please be aware that if you do not want to share There's absolutely no need to share your photographs, right? The reason why we say that we can put the photograph there is because ये जो link रहेगा, private link रहेगा, public नहीं रहेगा. So only the ones who you are sending the link to will be able to see, which means that you are sending the link to people who you already know. And when they see that, it's safe because उनके पास आपका number भी है, right? So there's no problem with safety. The reason why we put the photograph there is because when they see you beside the children, there's a chemical locha that happens, right? It's instant for them to say that, yes, Nikita is doing good. Nikita is a part of this. They're not distracted from the goal that Nikita is educating 5 children. Or, somebody from here in this group is doing that work. That's the reason we request that if you can, please upload the photographs in that form and it is safely kept. Now, all of these people that you see here, Sudeshna, for example, Sunita and Rohini and Suresh, this entire family over here participated in the program. 8 साल के बच्चे से लेके 90 साल के अंकल तक ये प्रोग्राम कर चुके हैं, right? All kinds of people have done the program and they all have been extremely successful because इसमें hard work नहीं है, बस conversations है, लोगों के साथ बात करना है और उनसे ये पता करना है कि hey, what's happening in India? What are you thinking? How could you solve this problem? I'm doing this through this campaign. What do you think? Just that kind of simple conversation. 8-year-old. Now I'm sharing this not to make you scared or to say that ye target hai, ye karna hai, wo karna hai. No, there is no target. Everybody will have a standard number that we'll put, but how much you do doesn't matter. How many people you talk to, that matters. The more people you get to talk to and tell them that I am doing this, that is what we consider as success, not the amount that you raise. But why I wanted to share this with you is, this one is an 8-year-old child. Her name is Ariana. I'm giving you an example of Ariana. Why? Because she taught me something. This is about a year ago she did this. She taught me something. She said, she basically made it very personal for her family members. So she walks up to her uncle and she says, Uncle, if my mom and dad are not there, will you still send me to that good school? And her mama was so surprised that she asked that question. She said, what are you saying? Obviously, I will send you to that good school. And then she said, no, everything is fine. But I know this little boy in the other area who does not have a mom and dad who can send him to school. Can you pay for his school fees? Now, she made her uncle feel what he feels for Ariana. And then she switched to the other boy. It felt very personal. It felt, that जो होता है दिल बैठ जाता है अंदर, वो feeling आया था उसको. That's why he paid not just for one, he paid for 2 children's entire year's education and food in one shot. उसका जितना उससे हो सकता था, उसने पूरा का पूरा donation दे दिया. क्यों? क्योंकि एक तो है उसका भांजी ने, उसका his own niece was doing this, so trustworthy source. She made her feel it was a personal thing. ऐसा नहीं था कि हाँ कोई कर रहा है मैं भी कर रहा हूँ उसके साथ. No, it was ये मेरा project है, ये मेरा लक्ष्य. This is what I want to do. I want to help people. That's the thing that she did. Then there's an individual here called Siddharth. He works in an IT company. He reached out to his bosses and he told them, let's say this is what I'm doing. And all his bosses, they all gave money and he raised 8 lakhs. We're not asking anybody of you to do that. अगर कर सकते हैं तो कीजिएगा. But the target, he didn't even have that target. उसका target actually 1 lakh था. Whenever he reaches 1 lakh, we'll bump it to 2 lakhs. Then it reaches to 2 lakhs, we'll bump it to 3 lakhs. ऐसे करते 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 10 lakh तक पहुंच गया वो. Right? So 16-year-old, 8-year-old, housewife, college student, हर कोई ये project कर सकता है और उसमें कोई problem नहीं है. They don't have any issues in terms of what do you call it? In terms of performing, because यहाँ पर performance नहीं है, ये आपका personal choice है कि मैं इस साल कुछ करना चाहता हूँ, अच्छा करना चाहता हूँ, बस वही आपको लोगों को बताना है, right? Now the thing, मेरा तो presentation हो गया है so far. We are going to send you a link through email. Please, for the heck of it, register. Sign up कीजिएगा. Why I'm saying this is because you'll only understand the real value of this program after a week of doing it, right? Because most people that I showed you examples of, most people who wanted to do this program, they said, okay, we'll think about it and get back to you. But then they still said, okay, let me register for the heck of it. They registered ek hafte baad when they saw that all their friends are donating. सारे के सारे दोस्त लोग, भाई लोग, फ्रेंड्स लोग, सब लोग डोनेट कर रहे हैं. Sorry. All of their friends are donating. All of their friends are saying, "Arey, yeah, this is a good thing that you're doing. I want to support you." There's unity in the community itself. When they saw that, they're like, "Arey, ye to acha hai. This is helping. If I was going to do this, maybe I could have supported one child. But because my network is doing this, 50 children are getting education now." Right? So the power of your network is immense. And that's why I'm saying just try it for 1 week or so. If you don't like it, no problem. You can stop it. किसी का कुछ नुकसान नहीं होगा. Nobody is going to say anything about it. You tried, it didn't work out, no problem. But try at least, because you never know who in your network is looking for a good source, a trustworthy friend to help people through. That is the program. Now we are open for questions if you have any questions, and then I'll hand it over to Ramya if there's nothing after that.
Thank you so much for taking us through that, Simon. Right? It usually when someone comes up and says, okay, you have to do this, it can sound very challenging. But the way you walked us through and the intentions and like the kind of talking points that you have given us, I think that would be really valuable. So everyone here, I have shared a link on the chat box, right? So please do sign up, take on this challenge, become an ambassador for Bhumi, and support the cause that you want to, right? And like Simon said, if you have any questions, any doubts, please, the floor is open. You can put it on the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask your questions.
Also, there's one more thing that we are going to be doing is for the people who are registering, we are going to have a kickoff call. In this kickoff call, we will tell you the gold standards of the previous ambassadors. Unhone kya kiya, kaise kiya, kyun nahi kiya, kyun kiya. All those insights will be shared in the next call for whoever is registering on this link. The reason is because if you're going to do this, you need all the weapons that you can get in your hands, right? And we want to make sure that you don't go to this war without a sword and a shield and a helmet. We want to give you all the weapons possible. Even if we have to give you a tanker, we will give you a tanker. And we want to make sure that you're ready to take this problem, because these problems are not simple problems. These problems are really big problems that our government is struggling to solve. So I can imagine what kind of pressure you all will be in. So please, please, please register, and we will be there for you in the next call as well. Okay, question time now. मोहम्मद जी, आपने नो बोला है आपके इसमें, मैं समझा नहीं आप नो क्यों बोल रहे हैं. Any questions?
Okay, so then we are going to assume that all of you are ready, and we will see all of you in the first call. Yes, this is an online program. You can be anywhere to do this. Yes. This is not an on-ground program. This is an online program.
Yeah, 10 minutes in your own home, office, wherever you are. There was a friend of mine who used to do this during his sutta break. So he is very busy guy. He works 2 jobs, by the way. So he used to say that मेरा sutta break में मैं एक दोस्त के साथ बात कर लूँगा. So you can do this from anywhere you want. No problem at all. It's a remote program, and we will remotely help you.
Sach, do you have a question? Go for it.
Sachin, you have a question or? Okay, I think so. He's just unmuted. He doesn't know.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we have a couple of people who have already signed up. You know who you are. So, like, thank you so much for taking on that challenge. Sharing the link again, please sign up, right? Then we will have the next call will be a shorter call where, like Simon said, it will be just like a call wherein the do's and don'ts. The program is for 45 days. You can choose how much effort you want to put, right? Like whether you want to concentrate your effort or you want to be there for the whole 45 days. That's up to you. It will be very personalized. So please sign up. And again, if you have any questions, please ask.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Sachin.
मैम मैं सोशल सेक्टर में काम तो करता हूँ, लेकिन जो आप भूमि का एम्बेसडर की काम जो है, तो जैसे कि रचनात्मक जो काम करते हैं, जैसे कि वो सोशल लोगों के लिए तो एक आइडियल काम होता है ना, तो हम लोग काम करते हैं, लेकिन उसका इतना सारा जो एडवर्टाइजिंग होता है, जैसे कि हम लोगों को बोल सकते हैं कि हम ये काम कर रहे हैं, वो काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन सपोर्ट करता हूँ, लेकिन सभी लोग हमें सपोर्ट नहीं करते ऐसे, जैसे कि
ओके, तो इसमें आपका
जैसे कि
सवाल क्या है सर?
मैम मैंने सोलापुर में जैसे कि महाराष्ट्र में एक बार बाढ़ आ गई थी। सोलापुर जैसे कि कोल्हापुर, सांगली को और रत्नागिरी को बाढ़ आ गई थी। उस वक्त हमने उन लोगों को जैसे कि रेगुलर डे में जो भी चीज लगती है, जैसे कि खाने की, जैसे कि क्लॉथ्स हो गए, वो सभी हमने प्रोवाइड किए थे सभी लोगों के इकट्ठा करके। हमने हमारे स्कूल की तरफ से, जैसे कि म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन की तरफ से सभी लोगों को एक मिलजुल कर उधर जाकर हमने सपोर्ट किया था। फिर भी लोग इतना ट्रस्ट नहीं करते मैम। जैसे कि हम लोग बार बार बोलते तो वो लोग बोलते कि आप लोग क्यों इतना दूर जाकर करेंगे, वही के लोग नहीं है क्या, ऐसे ऐसे भी बोलते। लेकिन हम जब अच्छा तरह से काम करते तो हम ही लोगों के लिए एम्बेसडर हो सकते हैं ना। हम रचनात्मक काम करते हैं तो।
So I'm still not understanding what his question is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sachin ji, you have Sachin's number and email address?
I do.
ओके सचिन जी, मैं एक काम करता हूँ, मैं अलग से आपको कॉल करता हूँ, क्योंकि आपका प्रश्न मुझे अभी भी समझ में नहीं आया, तो मैं आपको अलग से कॉल करता हूँ। मेरे समझ में इतना आया है कि आप एनजीओ के लिए ऑलरेडी काम करते हैं कि नहीं?
हाँ, काम करते। मैं एनजीओ के लिए काम नहीं, जैसे कि मैं खुद काम करता हूँ सर एनजीओ के साथ।
तो आप सोशल वर्कर, आप खुद सोशल वर्कर है? हाँ ठीक है, तो मैं एक काम करता हूँ, मैं अलग से आपको कॉल करता हूँ और जो भी आपका प्रश्न है मैं उसको क्लियर करता हूँ, ठीक है? मैं आपका नंबर रम्या जी से लेके आपको कॉल करता हूँ, ठीक है? ये आशीष, गो अहेड।
जी सर, जानना है कि सर 45 डेज प्रोग्राम के बाद, भूमि प्रोग्राम के बाद अलग से फिर उसके बाद मैं नहीं जुड़ सकता क्या भूमि से?
Okay, so the question here, Ramya, is that if there is an opportunity to join the Bhumi team directly.
Yeah. So Ashish, you can आप मुझे अपना प्रोफाइल भेज सकते हैं. You have my number. If there is an opportunity here, we will surely reach out. Why don't you just send your resume to me? My number is in the WhatsApp group that you're part of. उस group में मेरा number है, आप मुझे भेज सकते हैं and आपका उसके साथ से then we can take the conversation. But I hope आप still this program you are doing, right? Because this will also be a very good stepping stone for you to understand कि भूमि कैसे काम करता है, किन चीजों के लिए काम।
Thank you, Ashish.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Is there any certificate that we will get after the completion of this?
Yes.
From Bhumi?
Yes. So if you are able to successfully complete the campaign, you will get a certificate.
Yeah.
But
also,
please do it to reach out to more people.
Yeah. So
right.
like Ramya said, that we will provide a certificate, but how we measure success is not based on how much you raise or आपका result क्या था total amount में. Like for example, यहाँ पर जो presentation I showed you, in that there are people who raised 8 lakhs and then there are people who raised 5,000, right? It doesn't matter आपने raise कितना किया. It matters on how many people did you reach out to. जब आप अटक गए कहीं पर, did you reach out to ask for help? साइमन हमको हेल्प चाहिए, रम्या जी हमको हेल्प चाहिए, मैं ये कर रहा हूँ, ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता, कैन यू प्रोवाइड सम हेल्प, राइट? उसकी आधार पे आपको कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट या एक सर्टिफिकेट दिया जाएगा बेस्ड ऑन दैट यस यू पार्टिसिपेटेड एंड यू सक्सेसफुली कंप्लीटेड द एम्बेसडर प्रोग्राम। बिकॉज अगर आप समझेंगे 30 दिनों में आपने डे 1 में ही अटक गए और आपने कुछ किया नहीं उसके बाद में, तो आपने एक्चुअली कंप्लीट नहीं किया प्रोग्राम को, right?
One thing I also wanted to ask, sorry to disturb you.
Yes, yeah. No problem.
Just like that, like I'm already working in Tamil Nadu and facing lots of language issues here. So the campaign is like, who will take care of this after leaving of 45 days, like the same?
Sorry, can you repeat the last part? Who will take care of?
Yeah. this campaign for after this? Like
So the
as we
campaign will
discussed
run
here.
only for 45 days, right? It will end
Oh,
after 45 days.
okay, okay, okay.
तो
Understood.
आपका कैंपेन खत्म हो जाएगा 45 डेज के बाद, वो लिंक पे क्लिक करने से भी कोई डोनेट नहीं कर पाएगा उसके बाद.
Okay, and the donation will go directly to the Bhumi or
Bhumi.
to
It will go directly to Bhumi, to the specific project that you pick. जैसे कि अगर आपने एजुकेशन पिक किया तो एजुकेशन के लिए ही जाएगा. इसीलिए हमने 5 अलग अलग कैंपेन्स रेस किए हैं. उसके नीचे आप लोगों का पर्सनल कैंपेन्स रहेगा, यानी कि अभय के लिए एक, आशीष के लिए एक, रम्या के लिए एक, मनीष के लिए एक, अलग अलग रहेगा और आपका फोटोज अलग अलग रहेगा उसमें.
And I also want to add here, one thing is that it doesn't end where once you have donated, right? Because the people who have donated to your campaign, they would want to know where the money goes, right? So once the campaign ends, we actually share the list of beneficiary mapping, right? For example, Abhay, if you choose education, right? So we would probably use the money that you have raised to sponsor scholarships. And once that money is disbursed, we will send you the list of the children, like, okay, this person in this school, in this district, this much amount of your campaign was used, right? So we will share across those details with you, and you can then share it across with your donors, right? So they'll know कि, okay, I gave this much and this is where it went.
यानी कि full circle होगा उसका.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Anybody else? Any questions?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Ronak,
yes.
you are.
Sir, I do have few queries to ask. This campaign is this investor campaign is more like a fundraising campaign, or if yes, then like I don't have a huge friend circle or people revolving around. So how am I going to approach people? So like, since I don't have many as like connections to the people, those who can donate actually. So and one more question, like do we need to visit slums to educate children? That's my question.
No. So this particular program is not a physical presence program where you have to physically go to some location and educate children. I think it's a ambassador program where you're representing. We don't even call it a fundraising program because, like I said, even if funds don't come into your campaign, but as long as you raised awareness, मेरा मानना ये है कि if you raise good quality awareness, funds automatically follow. जैसे आमिर खान बोलते हैं ना, excellence के पीछे भागो, automatically पैसा आ जाएगा. Right? So if you go ahead and create good quality awareness, ऐसा नहीं कि हाँ सर बहुत लोग मर रहे हैं, प्लीज हेल्प करो, प्लीज 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 प्लीज. उसको अच्छा नहीं, वो वोडाफोन का बंदा कॉल करता है ना, सर ले लो सर बहुत अच्छा पैकेज है सर ले लो, वैसा नहीं करना है. यू हैव टू हैव रियल कॉन्वर्सेशन. वो कॉन्वर्सेशन खत्म होने के बाद तुम्हारा दोस्त या कोई जो भी है वो ये सोचना चाहिए कि यार क्या बोला इसने, यार ऐसा है सच में, ओके आई वांट टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस, मुझे कुछ ना कुछ करना है, 50 रुपया ही क्यों नहीं, मैं इसको हेल्प करूंगा. और आप बोल रहे बात इसका नेटवर्क का कि आपके पास ऐसे दोस्त लोग नहीं है, आप सोचिएगा 8 साल की बच्ची के पास कितना दोस्त लोग रहेंगे. उसके पास तो व्हाट्सएप भी नहीं था, लेकिन फिर भी उसका कैंपेन सक्सेसफुल हुआ. और इसीलिए हम बोल रहे हैं कि आप ये ना सोचिए कि मेरे पास नेटवर्क नहीं है, मेरे पास नेटवर्क है, मेरे पास स्किल नहीं है, मेरे पास स्किल है, वो मत सोचिएगा. क्या आपको बच्चों को हेल्प करना है, बस उतना ही एलिजिबिलिटी है, और वो अगर है तो प्लीज गो अहेड एंड साइन अप. जो अगला कॉल होगा उसमें हम बताएंगे कि अगर आपके पास नेटवर्क नहीं है तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं, अगर आपके पास रईस दोस्त लोग नहीं है तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं, अगर आपके पास ज्यादा स्किल्स नहीं है तो हम लोग आपको कैसे हेल्प करेंगे. तो वही हम लोग का नेक्स्ट कॉल होने वाला है. वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा 20-25 मिनट का कॉल है. लेकिन अगर आप हेल्प करना चाहते हैं बच्चों को, अगर आप कुछ करना चाहते हैं और आपका 10-15 मिनट दिन का आप दे सकते हैं, तो ये प्रोग्राम आपके लिए परफेक्ट है. ठीक है. अभय, you had a question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Raman. Yeah, Abhay. You had raised your hand, so I'm asking.
Yeah. Just a minute. Basically, I was having the question regarding the mentorship, but you have in last you said that like we will do the session and all, so the query got solved.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will teach all the high funda stuff of how to have conversations, how to basically हम लोग जो एक प्रोग्राम चलाते हैं इंटर्न्स के लिए, हम लोग इंटर्न्स को 8,000 रुपया चार्ज करते हैं. We charge interns 8,000 to 9,000 rupees per month for a session to teach them how to do the same thing that you all are going to be doing, and we are going to be helping you guys. यानी कि आपको ट्रेनिंग तो नहीं देंगे हम लोग, लेकिन but we will have these conversations one on one or as a group every 2 or 3 weeks, just so that we know कि क्या हो रहा है. जैसे कि अभी for example if Abhay did something and it's working very well, we want Abhay to share that with the entire team as well कि हाँ मैंने ये ट्राई किया और ऐसा लोगों ने रिस्पॉन्ड किया, ये अच्छा है, ये आप लोग भी ट्राई करें. So there will be a lot of peer to peer learning from everybody in this group as well. ठीक है? All right, so if there are any questions, you have the WhatsApp group, or I'll give you another couple of minutes if you all are here still.